everyone. This is the first day of the 53rd IATEFL conference, and we're here filming amazing ELT personalities. And today, look who we have.
Hi.
Miss Katherine Bilsborough, all the way from Spain.
That's
and
right.
This year's Star Conference plenary in the interactive plenary, which we've already started working on.
Exactly.
So, Katherine,
Yeah.
first of all, welcome.
Thank you,
It's a
Maria.
great pleasure to see you.
Thank you. You too. We're friends.
We're friends, but you know, we don't get
nice.
to chat every now and then. So, first of all, how are you enjoying IATEFL so far?
Well, it's wonderful. It's really wonderful, first of all, being in the UK. It's really fantastic being in Liverpool. And of course, IATEFL is it's like coming home and just seeing so many old friends, making new friends. So most of the time is spent on the first day going around sort of doing kind of thing. But no, fantastic.
So, is this a professional attitude? What is it that draws all of us back to IATEFL and we move along the IATEFL path year after year?
Well, I think we start off conversations at IATEFL, which we then continue online and in social media throughout the year. And then as the build-up comes to the following year's IATEFL, we start making plans to meet up again to finish those conversations, start new conversations, remind ourselves of things we said, goals we might have set out for ourselves. You know, did you do that? Did you change course? And just the learning, isn't it? It's just pure learning.
Incidental learning for conference participants, ELT conference participants.
Yeah, that might be the title of my next talk, actually. I quite like that. Yeah.
I like incidental learning.
Yeah.
It sticks. It stays with
that
one.
Could be the new buzzword, couldn't it?
So tell us about your professional plans and what you have been up to in these 12 months we haven't met.
Okay, so I've been doing a lot of writing, and that's my main job as an author. I've just launched a new course book with National Geographic for primary learners. And actually I was really happy to see that the conference attendees have a voucher in their bag for a free copy of this book called Look. So if they go along to the stand, they'll be able to get a copy. I've also been involved in the IATEFL SIG, the Material Writers SIG.
That must be very exciting.
It's fantastic because we've been doing quite a lot. So this year I was in charge of a series of webinars. We called them the how-to webinars, and we had brilliant webinar speakers, presenters, teaching us how to write specific things. So Katherine Walter spoke about how to write grammar activities, etc., and too many people to name, but they're all there on the SIG website where people can watch them. They were filmed. So combining writing with teacher training and training teachers how to write materials, that's another one of my...
I must confess that the Material Writers SIG website is the first one I upload on my students' learning network, because one of the units I teach at the International Faculty of the University of Sheffield is design and evaluation of teaching materials.
Great.
I find that so rich. I know that we will be talking about the future trends in ELT and how ELT is changing, but this is a digital era. How do you see coursebooks, paper-based coursebooks, changing in the last few years?
Okay, it's a digital era, but we have to remember that that's not the case for everybody. And I think that for me, one of the most important things about materials is that everybody in the whole world can access good quality materials. So if you are in the digital world, then the way that you access those materials might be through a mobile device, etc. But if you live in parts of the world where we don't have that internet connectivity or whatever, we still have to maintain, I don't think print is going anywhere anytime soon. So hopefully both things will exist side by side, and there will be quality and rigor in both areas.
So this sounds very liberating. So we are given choice, flexibility. We can blend, another buzzword that we've been using.
Yeah, I think flexibility is a key word for everybody. Teachers need to be flexible, learners are more flexible, the materials that we provide need to be more flexible. We need to speak and communicate and share knowledge between us and make more connections, if you like, so that we as materials writers are able to provide what's needed. We don't always know what's needed until we meet people and talk to people and they say, actually, I need this, and that's important, that dialogue.
So as a materials writer, how do you manage to get information about practice-informed material? You mentioned the teachers a moment ago. How do you get their own feedback in?
Well, speaking to as many people as possible and observing classes whenever that opportunity arises. I'm a member of quite a few teachers' groups on social media, so it's really good. I spend a lot of time listening or reading, in most cases, to what they're saying, which is quite interesting because it's often not what we are being told by the publishers. Sometimes there's a difference there, disparity. But I think just talking, reading. I attend webinars. The beauty of technology is that we can sometimes on a Sunday afternoon, if there's not a good film on TV, I might actually register for a webinar and go along and sign up. And sometimes it's about something that's not really related directly to my own work. But I feel inspired often by the chat box that's going on while the person is giving the webinar. There'll be conversations and dialogues and people giving links to research findings that otherwise I would never probably come across. So that's wonderful.
Well, you mentioned two things which are very important to me. So one of them was the social media and the chat box. So in one of the comments that were made about our final interactive plenary, somebody mentioned, and you replied, about globally published and locally published material.
Okay.
Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, well, things are changing, but at the same time there's a lot of things that are not changing. It's a kind of curious moment, I think, that we're living in. But some publishers have decided recently that it's more economical to publish a global product that they can use all over the world rather than different versions of books. When that happens, the content tends to be a lot more kind of, we take fewer risks because we don't want to upset these people, or because these people might not be interested in this kind of thing. So I'm much more in favour of localised versions of books and content, but I think there's a place for both, and I think there's a great opportunity at the moment for materials writers and teacher materials writers to create and publish their own materials for their own contexts, because nobody knows a class as
better
well
than the
as the teacher.
And that sounds very empowering in the light of today's plenary.
Absolutely. I think it's a way of empowering teachers. This is something I'm very passionate about. So I do a lot of teacher training where I train teachers to make materials for their own context, but using firm principles of learning and teaching to make sure that those materials are good, basically.
So if you could pick one change, one prediction, what would that be about the future trends of ELT?
I would like there to be more. Oh, it's difficult, this, because
I know.
I don't want to give away any of my plenary sessions.
Don't.
I'm going to be controversial, so please come and watch. But I think that one of the things I'd like to see is more access to materials I would like everybody in the world to be able to access the materials they want and need without having to worry about how that's going to happen, whether they are prevented from doing so because of money or laws or silly, reasons sometimes. So I would like that access to be real and not just a buzzword.
That is a very valid point. Katherine Bilsborough, thank you. Do not forget our closing interactive plenary is going to be live streamed, so follow us, comment, share, and use our hashtags IATEFL 2019 here in Liverpool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.